once that happens, you're going to be able, whether it's 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now, whatever it is, you're going to be able to display or to communicate with pure intent. You're going to be able to do things without.
I get it.
Our ability to use personality and charisma and language and to be more articulate and impressive in the way you talk, to have a different impact on the way a person receives your thoughts. Instead, it'll be purely your intent and your thought. Purely your thought process.
Allow me to ask, suppose that is possible, why would you want to do that?
Why wouldn't you want to be living in a tree throwing poop at the other chimps? Those are the good old days. The good old days when we were in the trees and we didn't have fire. We had to catch our rats and eat them alive.
In fact, we got very good at throwing things, even if it started with poop. We were the best throwers of any species that ever was, ever.
And they think that might have contributed to us becoming what we are.
Ever.
Right?
So just because we can extrapolate to a thing doesn't mean that's the thing that's going to happen.
True.
So I'm old enough to remember the 1950s and 60s. People were imagining the future, the home of the future. Well, technology was automating things. So everything was a button. So the home of the future was just a button. And then people imagined that the future evolution of humans, we'd grow a big index finger because you have to be pushing buttons all the time.
Right.
And now, no, we don't have buttons all over the house. Not really, okay? That's not the thing. Well, we have the remote control. I guess that's buttons, but the button can do 1,000 different things, right? Depending on how it's programmed. So there are things that, take a look at computing. There was an era where the bigger a computer was, the more powerful it was. Okay?
No,
Let's go right up to 1968, 2001, A Space Odyssey. This is imagining a world in 2001. Oh, computers will be really big then. There's that one big computer in the center of the ship. Oh, no one imagined that you'd have something more powerful than that on your hip.
Yeah.
That was, no one thought that way. People imagine the future where we have motorized sidewalks and monorails and everything, and what we didn't get was we thought energy would cost nothing. So we imagined a world with transportation, motion, and actions that all require energy to enable. And those worlds came out of the heads of people who extrapolated forward, and they did not understand that the real action was in information. Information is what became cheap, not energy. And when information becomes cheap, I have the world at my fingertips. Even though I still have to walk down the sidewalk and it's not a motorized pathway.
Yeah, that's the thing they never saw coming in any of those.
Didn't see it coming.
They didn't see the internet coming.
Information would be cheap.
Right.
And so I'm not one to just take what's going on now and extrapolate it and say everyone's going to be living that differently. Because other things come in from the side that you don't anticipate. And when they come in from the side, it is not an extrapolation of what you're doing now. It is something you didn't even imagine. Because an innovative, creative person looks to the left, looks to the right, and says, I can combine these into something that's completely new, that no one even imagined. So that's how the future unfolds. So extrapolating, you get the first couple of years correct. 5 years, 10 years out, you are completely off. And you said 500 years, 1,000 years. Let's shorten that a little bit. Let's say 30 years. You say, no, that's not much. You need more time than that. Ask yourself. Let's go back to 1960. We didn't have a spaceship. The United States did not have a rocket to carry people that wouldn't blow up on the launch pad. Okay? We weren't there yet. 30 years later, it's 1990, people have laptop computers. And we've been to the moon 6 times over. 30 years. So, when I think today to 30 years from now, I'm saying I don't know that I can predict anything, but there's some things that I know are going to happen in the next few years. Self-driving cars is going to take over like that. Why? Because you replace your car half the people replace the car every 5 years. So in 5 years, if I have a self-driving car and all the HOV lanes are now reserved only for self-driving cars, that's the next car you're going to drive.
Do you drive one? Do you drive a Tesla?
I have a Tesla.
Do you ever do the self-driving thing?
Never.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
It scares me.
I'm not ready for it.
Button, doo -doo,
Yeah, I'm not ready for it. And that's a quick. I even paid a couple of dollars, the extra dollars to get that. No, I'm not ready for it yet. But
don't be scared. Jamie, you use it?
Yeah, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that.
Most of the time, I don't, though, honestly.
But I'm ready culturally for it.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll save 30,000 lives a year. All right, so this is, and no one's going to drive home drunk. And a self-driving car, when it changes lanes, it tells the other self-driving cars, I'm going to change lane. It marks the traffic for it, and it then opens into a lane. Okay? This is the kind, and it could go 90 miles an hour, separated by 5 feet in front and back of the car.
Let's not do that.
No, because you're thinking of your own reflexes and not that.
I'm thinking of things going wrong. Every now and then you see one like that hits like a tire iron. It's in the middle of the road.
That could happen. However, another car would have seen it. I'm in my Tesla. I come up to a road. The Tesla tells me on the screen, changing suspension because of a bumpy road ahead. I said, how's it know it's a bumpy road ahead? It gets that there's a clearinghouse of this information. Some other Tesla went on that road and figured that out. My Tesla went on that road before and figured it out. Okay? So the shared information becomes hugely valuable. And yeah, you might have the tire iron in the road, and so 5,000 people a year die rather than 35,000 people. We got to wrap our heads around that one this time around. My analogy to this is we used horses for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Now you go from 1910 to 1930. 1930, you can't give away a horse. Not in urban areas, no.
Isn't that crazy?
Within 20 years, we went from horses and an entire industry that supported the horses. The buggy whips, the carriages, the stables, the foods, the blacksmiths. All an entire industry vanishes within 2 decades, basically within 2 decades. And you're going to tell me when are automatic cars come? We already have them, and we just, when it's ready to go down, it's going down. My kids are 20 and 24. They don't want to know how to drive. They can't wait until the self-driving car. They want nothing to do with it. And by the way, you might say, but how about people who love to drive? They're not going to give up their Camaro or their whatever it is that they love.
You say that mockingly. I don't like it.
No, I said that. I listed that first. I said, let me not say the Corvette, because I think there are more Camaros out there than Corvettes. I'm appealing to Corvette. So anyhow, you might like to drive your Mustang GT. Okay,
right.
Fine.
Okay.
Then we build tracks for you.
Oh God.
No. There are people today who like riding horses. They don't do it in the street. You go to the stables and you can jump and you can ride the countryside.
What world are we making, Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I'm saying we don't have to give up your car. In order to have everybody we car tracks.
And then the government's just going to shut down your car and pull you out. It's going to shut down the highway because everything's going to be automated. And they're going to need access to all the cars just in case there's a high-speed chase.
The government built the fricking highway.
Did they, though?
Yes, they did.
I don't think they did.
It's called the Eisenhower Interstate System. It cost $100 billion. It was a military project. And so,
So they have the right to shut your car down? Is that what you're saying? Are you opting out?
You can make your own damn road and do what you want on it.
What if it's like iPhones, where you can opt out of sharing your information with advertisers?
You want to opt out of what? They're not
the government being able to shut down your car?
You don't have a right to drive in HOV land. That's not in the Constitution.
Yeah, we're not talking about the HOV lane. They don't even have those out here.
Oh, they don't? Well, you have the pay road routes. If the government controls, if laws control one lane versus another, that's the first lane to go to self-driving. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, plus, self-driving cars that you don't own, that you just sort of use, that reduces the number of cars in the road by, what, a factor of 10?
Yes. I just worry about...
You probably own a drill, a hand drill.
Yeah, I got a drill.
How many total minutes in a year do you use that hand drill?
I don't use it ever.
Fine. So, you spend money on something that you hardly use, and even if you did use it, it's for minutes. Okay? So... You get on the horn, you go to Home Depot, get online, say, I need a hand drill with this bit, and then a drone drops it off that afternoon, and you use it, and then it takes it back. You don't need a garage, you don't need a parking spot, you don't need anything. It's shared commodity.
It sounds like a good deal for Jeff Bezos. He's probably real excited. They're delivering you drills.
I think he's buying roof rights for drone landings.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Yeah. That's what I heard. It's the rumor.
When you see a guy that's that wealthy, do you ever ponder what makes a person like that continue to work every day?
That is the actual fact of it, right? People like that, it's a different species, right? It's
Yeah.
someone who has an idea and they want to execute the idea. So, and he was at it when no one thought it was fashionable. Amazon